Hi, and welcome to your Java tutorial using Eclipse. Today we will be analyzing code that I made for a higher or lower game. Java is a language not owned by Oracle, and Eclipse is a great IDE to run Java. When you start making something in Eclipse, you have to create a project. In this case, I called it High or Low Tutorial. Inside, I created a package. In this case, it is called the tutorial package. And inside, I have a class called High Low Game Tutorial. A package is a collection of classes, and a class is a text file that has code inside of it. When you first open your class, some pre-written code is provided by the IDE. It will say on one line, public class, and then the title of the class. And on the next line, it will say public static void main string args, known as the main method. Public is referring to it as being an access modifier, which specifies where and who can access the method. If it is public, it can be accessed anywhere. The word static allows the main method to be called upon. Here, void is a keyword specifying that a method does not return anything, and main is the name of the Java main method. In string args, string is a type, and args is short for arguments. String args stores the Java command line. The name of the string array here is args, but it can be changed to anything. String args is surrounded by brackets, and the code is written between the curly brackets. Now let's get to the actual code. Over here is where I imported a scanner class and a random class. The scanner here looks for the user's input through the keyboard, and the random class will be used to create random numbers 1 through 20. Here is where I declared the variables. I called the scanner user input, and the random function I called random_numGen, short for random number generator. Over here, I declared a string variable called answer, which will be used to store the user's responses. And here, I have an integer variable, money. I made it so you start off with $10, but depending if you get a correct or wrong answer, the value will change. And lastly, two other integer variables are declared as users and CPU's number, and this will be used to store the random numbers. On line 35, I have a while loop, so once the game is over, it will ask you if you want to play again, as seen here. You will have to answer yes or no, and depending what you put, will execute different sections of code. If the user enters something other than yes, then it will go to the else, and it will automatically break from the loop. Over here is where I prompt the user if they want to play. System.out is referring to it being an output statement, while print is referring to whatever is in the brackets. Do you want to play the higher or lower game? Yes or no. Later on in the code, as seen here, I use println, which automatically puts the next print statement on the next line. ln, short for line. In the answer variable, I convert all of the user's inputs to uppercase. This is because Java is case sensitive, and it will take a lowercase y different to an uppercase y. If the user entered something starting with y, this whole section of code will execute. As seen here, money is set to 10 again, because if this loop executes, it will reset the amount of money you have. Below are the instructions. The user and the computer will randomly select numbers, and the user will guess if their number is higher or lower than the computer's. For every right answer, you gain $1, and for every wrong, you lose $1. If the user reaches $0, the game is over because you are bankrupt. If the user reaches $20, the user wins. And after reading the instructions, the user will have a second opportunity to decide if they really want to play the game. Now, I have another loop to keep drawing random numbers. The loop here will break if the user becomes bankrupt or wins a game. The loop can also break if the user enters something other than a word starting with H or L. This feature is allowing the user to quit the game before the game is over. Here is where the numbers are generated 1 to 20. Java starts random numbers from 0, so I added a +1 so it goes from 1 to 20 instead of 0 to 19. Next, a sentence comes up telling the user what they drew and asking if they would like to go higher or lower. Here are all the possible scenarios. For example, if the user put higher and the number is higher than the computer's, the sentence comes up, and using concatenation, the user knows the dealer's number and updates them on how much money they have in the bank. And since they got it right, they would get $1 more added to their total. The next scenario is if they guess higher and it is actually lower. A similar sentence comes up, except $1 is subtracted from their total. I then did the same thing for if the user entered lower and they got it correct or if they got it wrong. The next if statement is basically going to end the game if the user does not enter a word starting with L or H, like I said before. The next if statement is if the user has the same number as the dealer. In this scenario, the money variable does not change. This next part happens once the embedded loop breaks. It can break by the user reaching $20, getting $0, or if they enter something that does not start with L or H. If you got $20, it says that you win, and if you get 0 or anything else that you entered, it says that you lost. The next two else statements are connected to the yes or no questions. The one at the very beginning asking if they want to play, and the other one asking if they want to play after reading the instructions. If they enter something other than a word starting with Y, then the compiler would move to hear the else statement and break out of the loop. The next line is telling the user that the game is ending, and then the scanner closes to avoid any leaks. Now let's see what this code executes. So right away, it asks you if you want to play the higher or lower game. Let's go ahead and type in yes. It then takes you through the instructions. Then it tells me that it drew a 7, higher or lower than the dealer's card. Let's go with higher. It then tells me that my card was actually lower as the dealer drew an 8. So now I have $9 instead of 10. And this cycle keeps looping until I either reach $0 or $20. So let's say you want to end the game now. All you have to do is type in something other than H or L. So let's type in G. And as you can see, it says I did not enter an H or L, game over, and that I lost. And then the game prompts me if I want to play again. Let's type in yes, and the loop cycles through again. Now let's just end the game. Type in J, did not enter H or L, game over, you lose. Do you want to play the game again? No. Terminating the program. Goodbye. And this concludes the video. Now you know how to make a high or low number game using Java.